Hello, welcome to my video. This is where I explain my progress on my NLP, my network learning project. First things first, my restated learning goal is to find an appropriately leveled computer programming language and learn how to competently write lines of code to execute a series of functions. Now, to explain the sources that I use and then demonstrate what I've learned, I will begin here. I decided to use Python because that is what is now the most popular introductory teaching language at top US universities. That's what my research has found. Some good articles on Python. Uh, the resources that I've been using, YouTube, as prescribed by the course guidelines. YouTube has been nice. This was the first video that I wandered into. The Python tutorial part 1 prereqs and getting started. This was done by a 12-year-old. Definitely interesting. This is a channel all about programming. Way too much information for me, but it does have Python tutorials, which are useful. Beginning my learning, I started with terminal, which is just commands through the Mac operating system. Had to learn what terminal was in order to really understand what Python was. Now, Python ends up looking similar to this. This is an older version that this guy was writing. My version looks a lot more similar to this. Now, as a demonstration of what I learned, I will press play here and let's see how this goes. I'm just going to copy what he does.
First launch Python idle, you will be faced with a single window called the Python shell. And this has two main purposes. One is where you can try out some code directly. This is called an interpreter window. So I can type in mathematical expressions and they'll be evaluated immediately. Or I can type in commands. Now you can even define functions and do multi-step commands in this interface, but it's not really very good for that, particularly if you make an error while you're typing something in. So I could define a function in here. So here I'm going to define the squaring function, and I can use it to check that it works. But actually for editing any kind of multi-line code, this interface is really not very good. The main purpose of the Python shell is actually to show the output from programs as you're running them. So what we really need to do is to get an editor window open so we can edit a program. So we do that by going up to the File menu in Python shell or any other idle window and selecting New Window, or if you've already got a Python program saved, then Open. So I'm going to select New Window, and we get a new blank window ready for editing a Python program. I'll just resize this. So I have a window suitable for editing Python code, and just like the editors in interfaces like PyScripter, it will color code your program code as you type it in. So let me type in the standard sort of template code that I always use, which is a main function which does nothing, followed by a conditional statement, an if statement, which runs the main.
Alright, and that's pretty much how Python works for me, because I certainly have no clue exactly how all these functions go, but I am good at following directions. So with that, that is the end of my recording.